With the bringing of Shardless Agent into Modern, various decks have emerged based around the Agent and Violent Outburst, trying to cascade into various uncastable spells. Some do degenerate things like Living End, some do really degenerate things like Glimpse from Tomorrow, and some do fairer yet still very powerful things like the deck we're going to take a look at today. This deck was piloted by Darthkid to a 2nd place finish at the most recent Modern Showcase. So without further ado, hit a like on this video for the YouTube algorithm and let's jump right into the deck tech. As I mentioned in the intro, we're going to use Cascade cards to cascade into something more fair. That fair card is Crashing Footfalls. Getting 8 power with Trample off casting a 3 mana spell is just incredible. Speaking of Cascade cards, which ones are we using? Typical for these kind of Cascade decks, we're running Violent Outburst and Shardless Agent. The Outburst is great because it's an instant, so we can cast it on our opponent's end step. Agent is also great just as a 2/2, because if we cast the Footfalls off the Agent, we get 10 power on the board, which is a turn 2 clock if they don't have any blockers. We're also running 4 colors so we get access to a little bit more redundancy in the way of Ardent Plea. This is just so we have the extra 3 copies of a Cascade spell in our deck so we can hit the Crashing Footfalls a little bit more consistently. Given that we're essentially just a fair mid-range deck, we have to have a bit of that interaction to deal with whatever our opponent is doing over there. When we're choosing interaction, we have to make sure that the interaction has a mana value of 3 or more so that it doesn't get hit when we cast a Cascade card. We get around this primarily by playing split cards because the mana value of the entire card is equal to both halves combined. However, we do have a couple free cards and we do have one adventure card as well. For split cards, we run Fire and Ice and Dead and Gone. For free cards, we have Force of Negation to free counter any non-creature spells, Subtlety to stop troublesome creatures, and we have a Singular Endurance main deck to stop any graveyard shenanigans. We're also running Brazen Borrower to bounce pretty much anything that we're up against, like a large Swift Spear or an Ensnaring Bridge. Our last non-land card is a 1 of T3 Fairy, because T3 Fairy. We have a couple of oddities in the mana base. The first one is Gemstone Caverns. I'm guessing we're running this just so we can get an early Footfalls if we're on the draw. We're also running 1 Seagate Restoration. This will mostly be a blue enter the battlefield tap to land with a bit of late game upside because we're running 0 blue 1-drops in the main deck. For fetches, we're running Flooded Strand, Misty Rainforest, Scalding Tarn, and Wooded Foothills. For shocks, we have Breeding Pool, Hollow Fountain, Stomping Ground, and Temple Garden. We have 1 Ketria Triome, 1 Rogren Triome, and a 1 of Waterlogged Grove. For basics, it's just 1 island and 1 forest. For the sideboard, we have Endurance for graveyard decks and mill decks, Dead and Gone for prowess, Mystical Dispute for blue decks, Fire Spout for creature heavy decks, Magmatic Sinkhole for big creature decks, 2 more Teferi for opposing Cascade decks, and Wear and Tear for any decks with any troublesome artifacts or enchantments. 4 Color Footfalls seems like a really fun mid-range deck and something I might actually enjoy playing. Hey, who knows, maybe I'll test it out in the future. Do you like the deck? Do you think the Teamer version is better? Let me know that in the comments below. Deck list, Twitch, Twitter, and TCG Player Affiliate are all in the description, and as always, have a great day.